You have to be careful about making a weird show or watching a weird show.
Hello, this is Greg Smalley on Pod 366, a weird movies podcast for the spring. Joined today, as I often am, by the cozy Giles Edwards.
Hello, everybody.
Very cozy. And the mercurial Pete Turbovich.
Mercurial is all okay. I guess I'm a little grumpy today rather than my usual boisterous self, so I'll consider that mercurial enough. Yeah.
Well, we never know what to expect from Pete, so
Of course, I'm a surprise. They never see me coming.
he's a mystery wrapped in an enigma.
Hmm.
And we have today some movies to discuss. A bunch of ones that are actually in development. One that's in theaters that anybody can see. One that's in theaters that almost nobody can see. One that's you can see if you're in New York City.
Huh?
And then I think 3 on physical media. So a pretty good selection. Can you see the 9 items I have spread before you?
I can.
I
I
forgot to
believe I
mention-
count 9.
Yeah, there's also one that's also in development that we're going to talk about first. That's a short. So this one, in fact.
Yeah.
Giles, would you like to do the honors on this this picture?
Sure.
Oh.
We've got a still from, I'm going to say, an animated promotional bit. This is white. This is almost entirely white, but standing in the middle of this white, prominently centered, is a figure of an individual in a 2-piece suit with a necktie, casting half a shadow behind, I'll say, him, and lots of squiggles going on, which the form and subject matter strongly suggests who drew this. It is very much worth noting that the head of this individual is a cozy kind of lovey-dovey heart thing with a little mouth there smiling at us. And, this figure is standing with their hands clasped behind their back as if they're going to announce something.
Yeah, and this I think this art style will be immediately recognizable to anybody who knows this artist, whose name is
Bill Plympton.
Bill
Bill
Plympton.
Plympton.
Yep.
Yes, so this is we'll link it. There's a Kickstarter for a new Bill Plympton short. It is a music video from a band who I haven't heard of, and I think that's probably because I think this is their first single they're going to be releasing. And the name of the single is, does anybody have it handy?
Yeah, it is You Know I Love You, with some letters dropped, sort of Valentine's Day heart candy style.
Yeah, text speak. You, letter U, know I love you, all lowercase case. And that's it. And Bill Plympton's going to animate it because these guys were Bill Plympton fans and they reached out to him, and surprisingly he agreed to animate their movie if he can do a Kickstarter and raise the funds he needs, which are something like $30,000 they're looking for this.
Seems as of us recording this with 13 days to go, 12 days to go as you see this, 16,841 of that gathered.
Yeah, they were at 15,000 when I looked yesterday, so they're at 16,000 now, and that's that. So did you guys see like any of the background for this?
I watched the 3.5-minute promotional short that seemed to involve voices of one or more of the band members and the affable, relaxed Bill Plympton talking about his interest in this project.
Yeah. Yes. And there sort of is a backstory behind the song, if you song title, if you read further on the Kickstarter page, which is that
Huh.
each of the two members of the band proposed to their wives independently by using the line, "You know I love you, don't you?"
Hmm.
So that's why they decided to make a single based on that.
Huh.
And Bill Plympton, so you know kind of what to expect. Um, and that's pretty much, we just wanted to announce that, and always happy to help out Bill Plympton in any way we can. Any last thoughts on this simple short?
Huh. Um, on the streaming site Canopy for library card users in the U.S., his feature-length movie Idiots and Angels is on there. I remember that one. That was one of the first movies I discovered exclusively through 366weirdmovies.com. And I was wondering about it for years and never got to see it. And then it finally popped up on streaming on Canopy and I saw it. Love it, love it. It's really um it's got kind of a poignant message to it, and really says some things about humanity, and it's just kind of charming, but also just has a little edge to it too. So it's got some philosophical meat to it.
Yeah.
But and Plympton is, of course, more famous for his MTV shorts and animations that he did back in the 80s. So Gen Xer, I kind of grew up watching that on MTV a lot. So I'm a lifelong fan of Plympton's. Anything he does, I gotta see.
I think Giles has seen more Plimpton movies than all of us put together.
Ah,
Although I haven't seen that Angels one yet.
oh, well, it's on Canopy. It's free.
It is, yeah, it's just a matter of time. Yeah, he's always fascinating to watch what he's up to because very energetic mind and pen, I suppose.
Name all the Plimpton movies you've seen, Giles.
Let's see.
There are
I
other
married
Plympton
a,
movies?
I married a strange person, alien mutants, Slide, I think the Tune, and there might be one or more beyond that.
And you said Mutant Aliens, right?
Yeah, that was.
So yeah,
I recommend strongly that you dig up Mutant Aliens. I think that'll appeal especially to you because it's classic Plimpton, very government conspiracy thing going on too. With
Ooh,
yeah.
But by you, do you mean me or Pete?
Well, Pete, I mean, I think both of you would enjoy
yeah.
it, but perhaps the mercurial Pete Turbovich.
Yeah, that sounds interesting. Yeah, no, I wasn't aware that there were other Plimpton movies.
Oh yeah,
There's a lot of them.
He's got his studio, but he's very very indie independent, and so he makes
Very
them,
much so,
however,
yeah.
about as quickly as he possibly can.
And that's not even counting the shorts. I have no
Right.
idea how many shorts he's done. Two of them have been Oscar nominated, and I don't know how many he's done, dozens for sure. But so we're all Bill Plympton fans, and maybe someday he'd deign to come on the show, but I doubt it.
Well, maybe if we travel to New York City, go to his studio in Beg, we might have luck similar to the "You Know You Love Me" people.
What we should do is start a Kickstarter to have him as the guest. All right. But that's new Bill Plympton short. I think $10, if you pledge $10, you'll get a download of it. It's going to be kind of long, so it's pretty meaty, short. But yeah, there, and that's that. But let's move on to a couple of others that are in development that I know very little about, but wanted to fill out the roster today. Let's start with this one, which Pete can describe this still for our readers who cannot see it.
Okay. All right. This is an underwater scene of a man who is under the underwater with a some kind of typhoon current in front of him and a bunch of fish swimming by. The man has long hair and a beard and could be a stand-in for perhaps a religious figure, or maybe he's just a mermaid. Who knows? Um, maybe I hope I didn't inadvertently spoil the movie in case it ends that way. But anyway,
Yeah.
Okay.
and name of this movie would be Fishers of Men, is it?
Fishers of Men, yes, is the
Yes.
English title they're going with. It's in Malayalam language, which is one of the uh, more minor languages spoken in India. I shouldn't say that. I really have no idea of the demographics of Indian language, but it's not Hindi or Bengal, the big
Or
one.
Urdu.
It's one I've never heard of, Malayalam. And Indian people will be very offended by me destroying that pronunciation, but
Oh well, they've heard worse.
um, looking for financing at the Hong Kong Asia Film Financing Forum. Does anybody, Giles, do you know anything about this to add to what I'm about to add?
Nothing beyond the blurb from Variety that I read through, so I'll let you say what
Yes,
you
I'm going to just read the Variety blurb describing the plot. A vegetarian bank officer in Kerala whose contented Orthodox life unravels after a bizarre incident at a party forces him to consume alcohol and fish, triggering an uncontrollable obsession that transforms his identity, career, and personal life. Essentially, he becomes obsessed with fish and becomes a hermit who is fixated on fish living in on the coast. And we know very little about it besides that, except that the producer at least wants to promise that it will fuse sharp social realism with lush magical surrealism, which sounds good to me.
Sounds like a great idea.
But we shall see, because I think that as we know, people, especially producers and publicists, like to throw around the word surrealism a lot about movies that are like no more surreal than Inception or something. So,
Hmm.
but I did see that listed on Variety and thought, hey, why not? Let's hope this gets made and it's really weird and we end up seeing it.
Yeah.
But any further thoughts on that before we move to our next in production title?
Yeah.
No.
Trivia
also-
about Fishers of Men comes from a quote from the Bible.
Yeah, it does.
So I think this does have some kind of religious tone to it. I keep thinking of the incredible Mr. Limpet every time I think of guys obsessed with fish. Okay, this is not Don Knotts though. I'll stop.
Whenever I think of guys obsessed with fish, I think of Giles Edwards. So,
Oh yeah, that's right. Your fish pick every Thursday. Yeah. Ah, that's a good one.
all right, but we'll move on to another one that actually sounds a little more interesting to me conceptually. Giles, do you want to describe this concept art still that we have here?
Yeah, this is a concept art still, presumably for an animated feature done in a, I'll say nostalgic impressionist painting style. This is a little section of woodland right at the edge of mountain clearing, little rolling hills, grasses, and there are two children playing in front of a particularly wide and twirly gnarled kind of tree, not menacingly gnarled, just obviously a very old tree. And with the sun shining through, we can see that there's a shadow. However, the shadow does not appear to be the blocked light from either of the two individuals we can certainly see there. So maybe some sort of dryad spirit, who knows? So definitely has a tone of mysticality to it here.
Yeah, the shadow is definitely a woman, and I, unless I missed it, I believe you neglected to mention that the two boys in the picture each have holes in their torsos.
Oh,
Do they?
I did neglect to see this, and yep, okay, yes, there are two holes through these two boys playing in front of the tree that has the silhouette of an older female, or
Yeah,
older than them, as it were.
looks a bit like a watercolor style,
Yeah.
almost like a Van Gogh meets Miyazaki kind of thing going on.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. There's a broad intersection where this that can happen in this lands, but
Yeah.
So, do you guys know what the title of this one is?
yeah, rainy dreams.
Yeah, Rainy Dreams.
Rainy Dreams. And so, the concept from this, as I understand it, from the Variety article where I found this, is that this is a animation slash documentary hybrid in which the director is going to interview children who are refugees from Iran, living in Paris, I believe, and he's going to ask them about their nightmares and then animate their nightmares for the film, which to me sounds really like a pretty fascinating idea.
Yeah.
What do you guys think?
Highly topical. Children are the often forgotten victims in all of these wars that we keep carrying on. And Iran, of course, being very much in the news right now. That's boy, this movie has some real potential at this point in history to possibly start some very interesting conversations and maybe even raise a little bit of a scandal. Who knows?
Yeah, one thing I will point out is obviously this the concept for this that the director had happened before the recent developments and the war developments. But I think,
Iran.
yeah, kind of, since it hasn't been filmed yet, that's obviously going to be something that's going to come into play in this story. Currently seeking financing. I bet they find it based on the topicality of the film and the general interesting nature of the premise. Giles, any thoughts
Oh,
yourself?
I'm always happy to see new voices in animation, and a French-Iranian co-production this should prove fascinating at the very least.
Okay. So we're looking forward to Rainy Days, which I think will get made, and we'll see it in, hopefully we'll get to see it in a year or two, but keep your eyes out for that one. Just a really fascinating idea to me, at least. And let's go on to something that is in theaters that everyone can see, and it's Pete's turn to describe this poster.
All right, this is a movie poster with boy, I guess I might as well get it out of the way. This is a very Tarantino-esque looking production. This woman is holding up a sword in front of her face with a line of faces on it. She is very much glowering at the camera at us looking at the poster, with possible bloodlust in her eyes, and the title is "They Will Kill You."
Mm.
And she is not, in fact, the antagonist in this story, according to the trailer.
Yeah, she's just trying to get through this from.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, and on the poster you can see reflected in her katana probably all the antagonists.
Yes. So,
There are multiple posters for this one. That's the one I picked. Um, the director's name is not on this, but I don't know if Giles happens to know who the director of this
Oh, I do. It's the affable Kirill Sokolov, who interviewed years and years ago now, and he had a early feature of his at Fantasia, the delightful um, chamber torture picture. Why don't you just die?
Why Don't You Just Die was his first movie. Then his second is They Will Kill You. So the guy's got violence on his mind for sure.
yeah.
And it looks like this is backed by much bigger concern than his first movie. So I am very interested to see how his vision can unfurl on a larger scale, moving up from a mere apartment massacre bit to an entire hotel or apartment building massacre bit.
Now, Giles, since you interviewed him, is he Russian or Ukrainian? I think he's Russian.
I believe he is Russian,
Russian.
albeit perhaps reluctantly so. But I don't want to speak for him. But yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, he is a young Russian who, well, if you're making movies like Why Don't You Just Die, you've obviously got things to say about your immediate society.
When was Why Don't You Just Die made?
2018.
2018. So it was
It certainly
before the Ukrainian invasion, but
before
right.
the war got hot. But yeah, he's
It seemed like I think a lot of people thought that there was a political allegory aspect to that, which I didn't necessarily see in the movie, but
I guess it's not necessarily there, but it interpreting it that way fits all the right boxes. So yeah, I suppose I could look at that interview, yeah, if I can dig that up. But yes, that Why Don't You Just Die may say a lot of things, or it might just be a rollicking adventure of a young man not getting savaged to death by the father of his girlfriend.
yeah. Now, Giles and I sort of have a disagreement about that movie in that I really enjoyed it. It's just a movie of two guys fighting for 90 minutes, basically, and using every possible thing that they can find as weapon against each other until one of them finally triumphs. Now, well, I thought it was a great movie and a great action movie and a great example of what somebody can do with no budget for anything other than stage blood, basically. I did not think it was an especially weird movie, though, whereas Giles recommended it for addition to the Apocrypha.
Yeah, well, this was one of my first festival coverage experiences, and in general, I get an enthusiasm there that I just want to write fully about everything and put squeeze everything I can. It seems my thought at the time is that I agree with everything you're saying, but for I guess right on the heels of me having watched that, because I think I recall immediately going back to my hotel to write up about it instead of seeing the next movie I was thinking about. I was like, I thought at the time certainly that it went far enough that it went up to 11 as
Yeah.
opposed to just the 10, and that was, I think, my logic in that. All right, well, the extremeness of this with its tongue-in-cheek humor and ultra violence is, I think, what carried it for me to nomination. But that said, well,
Well,
ideas can evolve.
yes, the violence was absurd to the degree they took it. So I see there. Now, but this one, I have a little story. I saw the trailer to this before I saw The Bride, which I wrote up last week. And at the end of the trailer, I was looking, oh, that looks like, another action movie, maybe even a John Wick style action movie with a single person just fighting off hordes and hordes of antagonists. And but at the end, Kirill Sokolov's name came up as the director, and I said out loud, "Oh my God, it's Kirill Sokolov," which I don't know how many people in the theater heard me or knew what the hell I was talking about, because I'm sure no one else in the theater knew who Kirill Sokolov was. So.
The guy with the 2018 violence picture. You know, that guy. Yeah.
But this one I do have. I would not have included this for coverage other than, the fact that I did it for Giles' sake, because I knew Giles would be excited. But I also, there's a couple of reviews that came out that I should quote from. A guy, the Joshua, whose last name I can't pronounce, sorry Joshua, from Geek Vibes Nation said, "They Will Kill You has the blutz, gud, and weirdness to spare alongside its impressively choreographed fight sequences." And then there was another one that said, Rachel Leischman from the Mary Sue said, "It has been a while since we've had a movie as weird and fun as this one." Now, I'm not sure that Rachel Leischman goes to a lot of weird movies, so that may be the reason she thinks it's weird, but maybe it is weird. Who knows? The plot, well, I'll say one more thing before I let you guys describe the plot if you want, is that it's everybody seems to be praising Zazie Beetz's performance as the antagonist here, who is killing all these cultists intent on killing her. But based on the trailer, what did you guys think? What's the plot? Very simple plot, I think, but
pretty much. Well, I mean, another creepy hotel movie, and we just talked about Mr. K just a couple weeks ago. So, the Crispin Glover one, that is. But yeah, this one's basically just a random woman checks into a hotel that turns out to be run by a cult that selects one guest for a sacrifice for some kind of ritual for whatever their purposes are. And the rest of the movie is her trapped in this building while fighting off these people. One thing, like I said, very Tarantino-esque in terms of over-the-top violence, and quite frankly, it smells a little Kill Billish to me. But also, the trailer has something that I'm also going to side on the fact that this may not be a weird movie necessarily, even though I'm still an action horror freak, so I may like it. But the trailer had a whole suffers from trailer-friendly one-liner quip syndrome. They pull out a couple of stops, and it's like, I'm so tired of those. I'm so tired of those. Every time I hear a trailer-friendly one-liner quip in an action movie, I deduct 1 point. So anyway, so we'll see how this one goes, though. If it really truly goes up to 11, not 10.99, but 11, yeah, sure, it might be weird. In any case, it looks watchable.
And Giles?
Oh yeah, it's yes, fish out of water story where the fish is desperately trying to get this building thing, and yeah, I agree with Pete's observation about the trailer. While at the same time, I have seen a lot of trailers and their corresponding films, and have observed enough of them with a disconnect in what's actually, say the overarching tone that I think trailers are useful, but they have their limits. So again, we'll see one way or another, I'm sure.
Well, it's got pretty good reviews and looks to me like it's made for fans of John Wick. But we have more to discuss. So, well, we have a lot more to discuss, and we're running low on time. So let's. Whose turn is it to describe this simple still?
I guess it's mine. We have the title done in a wonderful curly Q calligraphy, kind of high Middle Ages font thing here, and that is laid over what looks like a perhaps a stone building, perhaps with religious purpose here. Certainly an old Middle Ages kind of structure that I think on purpose gives off, it seems to not be ashamed of the fact that we're looking at a model here. So there's a degree of artifice to this that it seems is, I can see being embraced even just from this very simple film poster with its title and one of its festival credits.
All right. So I'm going to go through these remainders pretty fast. This one's kind of a long shot. This is it's called, you got the title there, Giles. What's the title?
Revelations of Divine Love.
It's described in the promotional material I got as a visionary, no-budget medieval epic, acclaimed sophomore feature, Revelations of Divine Love, recounting the life of 14th century mystic and philosopher Julian of Norwich through fantastic psychedelia and homemade sets. Now, we saw the trailer. The fantastic psychedelia did not show up in the trailer. It's more of a no-budget, thing set in the medieval ages about, it's very Christian, not, in that sort of preachy sense, but historical Christian, and looked interesting. One thing I'd just like to point out for this, it's made in New York City, right? Set in the Middle Ages. And so I was watching it and I thought, I know another movie that was made in New York City and set in the Middle Ages that wasn't very good, but was a lot of fun, called Guru the Mad Monk from Andy Milligan.
Yeah.
And curiously enough, the woman who made this, it's debuting at, I forget where, at Anthology Film Archives in New York City. And she programmed a bunch of movies together with it that had influenced this movie. And one of the movies she programmed was Guru the Mad Monk, which is an awful, but extremely fun movie from Andy Milligan. So very quickly, any thoughts on Revelations of Divine Love before we move on?
No.
Okay. No thoughts on that.
If I had to watch one more movie with nuns in it, I don't know if I can stand it.
Oh, wow. I could watch 1 billion movies with nuns in them.
Well, you've always been a deeply spiritual man, Greg.
So. If they're the right nuns.
Yeah.
Maybe Sweeney as a nun would be, I'd watch it in a second. But let's move on to this one. This is a restoration. Since we're running so low on time, I'm not going to even try to have you describe this still. I'm just going to say this is a very busy, cartoony, very colorful animation of what I believe is a bee.
Yeah, I got the striped stinger.
Bee surrounded by flowers and a TV and a bottle of wine and so forth. And it is a restored version of a movie that is a canonically weird movie called
Allegro non troppo.
Allegro non troppo, which is a set of animations set to classical music that acknowledges, made in the 80s, I believe. Yeah, I think the 80s. Acknowledges that Walt Disney did it first in
or him or some guy named Grisney or Prisney. It was unclear.
Grisney, yes. And so this has been restored in 2K, playing at Metrograph in New York City, and we'll probably tour some more. And I'm sure we will see a DVD/Blu-ray. Probably not 4K because it's a 2K restoration, but who knows, they might put it on 4K anyway. And also, I should point out, at Metrograph, while they're showing this, they are programming it together with Fantasia on a couple dates.
Good touch.
A great double feature. Also, this movie has, in the interstitial moments between the cartoons, It's black and white, and it's like slapstick comedy with a guy in a gorilla suit and a orchestra full of old ladies, and just a very, very fun movie. A little more adult in content than Fantasia for sure. Any thoughts on this, guys?
Yeah, I love it. I've seen it. I kind of take it as Fantasia, like the National Lampoon version of Fantasia, almost. But as you say in your review on the site, it does have its own ideas. It's very much its own movie. So,
Very much so. And Giles has seen it too, apparently, because
all right.
or at least has seen the trailer.
I have seen the trailer.
Is that it?
No comments.
Okay. Geez, guys, we may just have to do a second session. Would you be up for that? Because here's where we're running out of time with very little.
Or we could save some of these for next week.
We have a very busy week next week too.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I can come back.
Okay.
So yeah, let's we have apparently, according to this, a minute left. I really love Allegro non troppo and want people to know about it from Bruno Bozzetti. Pete, since you've seen it, any favorite?
Well, there's also the animator. The animator is being tormented throughout the movie and the live action scenes. It's been a while since I've seen it, so I don't remember all of it. The animations are also much more original. They've had more of a psychedelic free form to them. Not quite as glitzy as Disney, but with their own kind of artistry. It's not all shucks and laughs. I remember the scene with the cat. The cat in bombed out rubble, apparently after a war, and the cat's just looking for somebody to love him. That part's kind of somber, and it gives the movie a little central soul. So it's not all silliness, but at the same time, the funny parts were really hit me by surprise, especially the live action parts and just some of the comedy they went through. Anyway,
All right.
highly recommending it.
Well, let's come back in a few minutes and discuss our remaining 3 movies very quickly, if we can.
Okay, dokes.
We'll take a break and see you guys in just a second.
All right.
Hello, we're back with the fidgety Pete Turbovich and the still cozy Giles Edwards to finish off our 3 remaining items, which are all physical media releases this week. And is it up?
Yeah.
Yep, there it is.
Yeah, so now we have time. I believe Giles has maybe described this exact image before. So I'm going to let Pete take a turn at describing the image for
All right. It's a DVD box set which proclaims to level up your love story. The featured image is 2 cartoon characters in combat fist to fist with a cartoony exclamation of Kephawk exploding out from the dynamic burst background, and a line of other scenes from the animated portions of this feature. And this would have to be something from the Scott Pilgrimish line.
the Scott Pilgrimish line.
Yeah, something along that line there. Yeah.
It is Scott Pilgrim Takes Off, in fact, the limited Netflix series about, I believe, probably 8 episodes, maybe more. The runtime given on the back of this Blu-ray cover is 3 hours and 26 minutes, approximately. So we can simply read you the box cover copy they've left here. Scott Pilgrim returns in an 8-part animated series, so I was right about the 8 episodes. The original cast of the cult classic live-action film Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, including Michael Cera, Mary Elizabeth Winstead, Kieran Culkin, Anna Kendrick, and Chris Evans, reprise their roles in Scott Pilgrim Takes Off, the complete limited series. Scott meets the girl of his dreams, Ramona Flowers, but learns he must defeat her 7 evil exes in order to date her. Then things get even more complicated. Based on the graphic novels by Brian Lee O'Malley, this is Scott Pilgrim as you've never seen him before, with twists and turns and shocking surprises. Now, I think we may have jumped the gun one week and discussed this Blu-ray release, and then it got pushed back, or I just didn't notice the release date. But now, yes, it is now actually out. So if you tried to buy it before, you were limited to pre-orders. Now you can get the darn thing. It is, of course, as described, a new version of the Scott Pilgrim story because it does not simply recap the original. This Blu-ray includes bonus features of episode commentators with creators and executive producers Brian Lee O'Malley, who did the original comic, and Ben David Grabinski, who must be the producer. I have seen it. I'm going to guess neither of you have.
You guessed correctly.
Nah.
And I have seen the original movie, and I'm pretty sure Giles still has not.
This is very true.
Have you, Pete?
No.
No.
As soon as I hear plot line of lonesome loser needs love, and I'm like, oh well, I hope he dies. I'm sorry. I'm a maximum misanthropist today. Don't mind me. But
Well, Pete,
world events have done that to me lately. Okay, all right. I understand there's fans of this, and yes, it is very much love. So I'm not going to kick it around, but I haven't. It's not at the top of my list.
Pete, I'm going to say, if you are fans of movies in which the lonesome loser protagonist dies, you would not like the original Scott Pilgrim versus the World. However, you might like this one.
Oh, okay. All right. So he does actually probably goes to heaven and fights angels or something, right?
It's a different take on the story. The first episode is actually almost a line for line recreation of the beginning of the movie up until Scott Pilgrim. And this is a bit of a spoiler, but in our review, Shane Wilson went ahead and spoiled it. Up until the first battle Scott Pilgrim has with the evil exes, in which instead of triumphing as he does in the movie, he dies. So, and then
wow.
The rest of the movie.
I did it.
So the author listened to your complaint precognitively somehow.
All right.
Rewrote the story so that the hero dies in the first episode. But the rest of the movie then, or the series then, revolves around Ramona Flowers, who was kind of, just the love interest in the first one, and is now the main character who is investigating what happened to the dead Scott Pilgrim and trying to figure out which of these 7 evil exes may be responsible for his demise. And, it gets kind of meta because in the movie, in one of the episodes, they talk about the making of the movie Scott Pilgrim versus the World. And the casting. And so there you go. I found it tremendously fun. Of course, I like the original. I went out to see the original, not expecting to see a very weird movie. I brought my little nephews to see it, and as it unspooled on the screen before me, as I watched it, I thought, oh my God, I'm actually here watching a cult movie for the first time in theaters, because I knew immediately that this would flop theatrically and become a cult movie. And indeed, that's exactly how it played out. So since neither of you have seen this sort of anime version of the live action feature, more true, of course, to its comic book origins, do you have any thoughts beyond what I've said? And the fact,
I am intrigued for different reasons, having just quickly glanced at Shane's review that mentions the animation studio behind this, which has brought us any number of great things, including Night is Short, Walk On Girl. And so if they put their weight into this project, then I have higher expectations than I would otherwise.
yes, well, it's on Netflix, and now if you don't have Netflix, you can buy this and see it that way. Probably for the cost of 2 month subscription of Netflix, you can.
Yeah, I just did the math. It's $8 an hour.
The
That's how you price movies.
but you can watch it over and over and over. So
And then that is not including watching it with the commentaries. So.
Oh, yes.
And it is weird in its way. So does probably require a knowledge of the original to get the full impact of it. I'm not sure if you went into this without having seen the original, how appealing it would be. But maybe. I mean, it's an experiment I can't really do. So, all right. But that's Scott Pilgrim Takes Off. And the takes off is kind of literal because he takes off in episode 1. Lots of twists, though. All right, so that's Scott Pilgrim Takes Off. Let's go on to our next one that's now on. I think it may be, it's certainly the first time on Blu-ray. Probably was out on DVD, but Giles, do you want to describe this? Rather simple still.
Yeah, we got a nondescript interior hallway, certainly a bare beige wall with a tall mirror on the left-hand side, and we see a figure on the far right that is obviously reflected in this mirror, and it looks like a fella, medium build, youngish age, long sleeve, red pullover shirt thing, and he is wearing a full head mask of a black cat with big open yellow eyes. And so it seems it's obviously we can't see the actual expression of the individual, but I wouldn't be surprised if it were as blank as this very neutral cat face.
And what is it called?
This one is called Cat Sick Blues.
It is called Cat Sick Blues. And did I send a trailer, or did you guys find a trailer for this?
You sent a trailer and I watched it.
And what'd you think?
I think it looked kind of weird.
Really? Okay.
Oh, everyone is different. Odd, at least, to be sure. Seems that this woman who had a cat in her life that became an internet sensation, we are told, and I'm guessing this cat somehow passed away recently and she's suffering the loss of that, and I guess the concurrent loss of her own fame as associated owner of that cat. And she meets this guy who I think he's talking about how he has been able to live with his dead cat again through means that the hints were menacing, to say the least.
Okay, Pete, what did you get from the trailer, Pete, if you saw it?
Oh, yeah, I saw the trailer. More than that, isn't this came out back in the 2010s, didn't it?
2015, I believe. Is the date.
Dead smack in the tens.
Yeah. So it is on Tubi, and I have, in fact, have it queued on my watch list. I was going to watch it this week. I really was, since I saw it coming up. But I other things happened. But it's on my to watch list. I think we need more cat-themed serial killers in the world in movies. So far, we've I think we've only got a few, so we could definitely use more of that. And it also has my vote for weirdness. I'll have my final decision after I see it, of course, but I haven't seen it yet. But so far, it smells like a winner.
Hey, Pete, you are free to review it, by the way, in print if you like.
Okay. Or
I
when I get my weird view crew going back, I'm trying to aim in that direction.
I am going to. I'll mention that this is a reader suggestion, so it's been sitting in our reader suggestion queue probably since 2015 when it came out.
Oh,
So 10 years now. Finally, the movie is out on Blu-ray. It may not have been issued on DVD. I don't see a DVD for sale, but it probably was. I mean, the guy who originally suggested it had seen it somehow. So,
Yeah, looking at it seems to be an Australian film, and I know that getting the Australian and Greater Oceanic DVD environment is very separated from what would be more standard broadly in North America. So I imagine there are probably any number of DVDs on this that are whatever region that is.
well, let me read from the product description the plot. When Ted's beloved cat dies, grief fractures his mind beyond repair. Consumed by delusion and anger, he becomes convinced that 9 human lives are the key to bringing his pet back from the dead. Armed with vicious clawed gloves and a haunting cat mask, Ted descends into a nightmare of obsession and murder. But amid all his carnage, he meets Claire, a young woman mourning her own lost cat, and their shared sorrow sparks a bond that blurs the line between love and madness. A decade after shocking audiences around the world, Catsick Blues returns in a definitive Blu-ray edition, honoring its status as one of the most unsettling and original works of modern independent horror, celebrated by critics and cult audiences alike for its volatile mix of grief, absurdity, and gore-soaked cruelty. The film endures as a singular vision that's darkly funny, deeply uncomfortable, and impossible to forget. And it
oh God.
comes with a ton of bonus features: the uncut, director-approved version of the film, commentary, 2 separate commentaries, a video essay by Heather Drain, Show Me Something Wrong podcast interview with the director, a documentary called Catboy, Cat's Claws and Cat Cocks, a behind the scenes documentary, deleted scenes, the original short film from which the feature evolved, another short film, an interview, a music video, another music video, something that's not described called Lady Flash / Astro Chick Alaska, another music video, and another music video. The guy directed a lot of music videos, I'm guessing. A poster, some sleeve art, and optional English subtitles in case you can't understand the Australian language. From Wild Eye releasing in coordination, I'm pretty sure, with Vinegar Syndrome. And that is Catsick Blues. The reason I was a little skeptical about it being weird is that it seems to me that it's a slasher movie, and I'm not sure I've ever seen a weird slasher movie.
Oh, come on. There's billions of them.
A
Well, not
weird one?
billions. Okay. A weird slasher. I mean, oh, come on.
Give us one, Pete.
Shocker was kind of interesting. That was the serial killer psycho who travels through electricity.
Hmm.
Shocker. Wes Craven. Yeah, nobody remembers it. See, that's okay.
I
Weird serial
remember
killers.
it. I remember
Oh,
it.
right, yeah, the movie that's been memed to death all over the internet. Brother, I forget the title of that one. All right. Anyway, weird serial killers, though, right?
I mean, I just on the sheer volume of slasher movies that exist, I'm inclined
Yeah.
to believe that they're it's a field worth exploring for someone who is, well, certainly predisposed toward that genre in the first place and
Okay.
willing to be on the hunt.
I'll have
My
to look this
familiarity
up.
with slasher movies is a bit limited.
Yeah, I
I might be wrong about that. Maybe you're right. Maybe there aren't that many weird slasher movies now that I'm realizing it. Holy cow.
I have to say, slasher movies are probably one of my least favorite genres, and the only one I clearly like less is musical biopics. But there have been good, weird musical biopics. So this kind of reminded me of conceptually of a movie that Giles reviewed kind of recently called Luther the Geek.
Oh yeah,
That's one.
that was pretty. Yeah, that was squarely an odd experience of a guy who quite possibly thinks he's a giant chicken.
Yeah, so it's like a cat. The guy thinks he's a cat. The other guy thinks he's a chicken. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm most intrigued. Yeah, you having read this description, the trailer to me seemed to focus very squarely on the female character, who I guess was played by Jenny Bezwiedenhut, and the guy seemed to be not incidental, but obviously off to one side, whereas all the description in text seems to suggest that this movie is about him and he meets her as opposed to her who meets him, kind of thing. So I am now actually curious about what perspective is going on within the actual movie.
Well, as we all know, trailers can be misleading. So anyway, somebody recommended it for us to check out, so we will check it out at some point. So that's Cat Sick Blues. Any final thoughts on Cat Sick Blues before we move on to our last one? No final thoughts. So let's go to this one. Whose turn is it to describe this still?
Meh.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead, Pete.
Oh, this is a dude in a military-ish uniform. Hard to identify what country. I know this is a foreign film. But anyway, the gentleman seems to be seated in front of a person in a white jacket standing just off to his shoulder, possibly a waiter. And the gentleman is engaged in the act of ingesting a banana with perhaps a bit of glee. Perhaps he's watching something that entertains him, or else he just really, really digs bananas.
There's a green glow. Whatever.
I don't know. I don't know if the green glow is part of that or just like the picture quality is weird. I don't know. Okay.
They are. He is watching something. I think I gleaned from the trailer you sent, Greg.
Yep.
I'll tell you, the uniform is almost certainly Romanian, unless it's a fictional uniform, because it's from a Romanian director. And this is, do you know the title of this?
This is Bad Luck Banging or Loony Porn.
Bad Luck Banging or Loony Porn, one or the other. So I did send the very not safe for work trailer. Did you both watch the not safe for work trailer?
Yeah.
And thoughts?
Romp. I definitely overtones of romp, but also I do like the sort of kangaroo court style feel, which I believe is the main crux of the plot line here, wherein this teacher made a sex tape with her counterpart that got hijacked and was loaded up, and she is sort of amongst a trial of her peers about whether or not she should continue working, I believe, at the school that she has been at for some time.
Very good. Pete, any further thoughts on based on the trailer or anything else you know about Bad Luck?
Well, between the sex scandal and teachers in trouble, this is yet another topical story,
Mm.
topical movie. Boy, half the movies we have this week are just ripping the headlines, it seems like.
Uh,
But anyway, yeah, the trailer really doesn't convey a lot of the movie. The trailer's trying too hard to be everything everywhere all at once, whereas I understand the movie's, coherent that way. It looks neat. I'm intrigued by the protagonist's habit of wearing a face mask. I guess this was filmed during COVID-19, perhaps at the
yeah,
height
this
of
is a
the.
2022 release, so yeah, I'm thinking this is
Oh,
one of them their
okay.
pandemic movies.
But anyway, you don't now thanks to the pandemic, we have a little period of movies back there that were all done with people wearing face masks all the time, which going forward in time will turn out to be a very interesting anomaly
Yeah, I think
because
20 years from now, people are going to be watching those movies and saying, "What the hell is going on? Why is everybody wearing a mask?" Um,
Hopefully.
hopefully. Or we'll all be wearing gas masks probably by that time.
That's right. Man under table's time will come.
Um, so yeah, it's Bad Luck Banging or Loony Porn. I'll give you some background on this. This is the first movie that brought the Romanian director Radu Jude to prominence. He had made several movies before that, but this made him a household name in Romania, at least, and among art house fans. It is, as Giles says, about a teacher who makes a sex tape that gets leaked and she gets in trouble for it. Something else to know about this film, it contains explicit footage from that sex tape, X-rated, triple X-rated footage from the sex tape. And for that reason, Amazon will not let us gain commissions from sales of this movie because it's porn.
Lousy prudes.
Yeah, even though there's probably, a minute of stuff in it,
And it's social commentary. Come on.
yes.
oh, the irony of having your movie about a teacher getting censored so the movie's about a teacher getting censored for her sex tape, and then we're going to censor the proceeds on the movie now because wow, that's irony so thick I don't know what I could add to that.
Well, it's a
All right.
clearly art house film, so I have something to add to that. More trivia. It's an art house film with a very little bit of explicit sex in it. So when it played on Hulu and other streaming services, they put little blobs and things over the naughty bits,
Censor bots, yeah.
further
Censor bots.
censored. And I believe they made little jokes, like they wrote words in there like you can't see what's going on here, but trust us, it's something. So they had fun with the censorship. I didn't see those versions or any version, in fact. And yes, Radu Jude. I've seen one of Radu Jude's movies. It was not weird. It was the one about the end of the world. Do not expect too much from the end of the world. Comedy satire is good, not super memorable, but I recall it being good. But Radu Jude has a lot of followers and a lot of fans, including one of our own writers who I am guessing is going to jump on the chance to write this one up. That's Michael Diomedes, who is a Greek who is very familiar with Eastern European cinema and references it all the time, and has referenced this movie in the other Radu Jude movie that he reviewed, which was, if you don't know, the Dracula movie. Dracula in AI movie, which also has a lot of explicit sex in it. So that's Bad Luck Banging or Loony Porn. Actually got very good reviews from critics. I would certainly enjoy seeing this, I believe. But On the other hand, I have to say, I have never actually seen an art house movie or any movie, mainstream movie, in fact, that included explicit sex scenes where I thought the explicit sex scenes actually added anything to the movie that simulated sex scene wouldn't. Am I alone here, or do you guys have an opinion on that?
It's a pretty mainstream opinion.
I think you may be right there, Greg. I'm trying to think because like one of the standouts for was that movie from the 70s was that Telephone about the fella who does the best erotic phone calls.
Oh,
and
yeah.
that benefits from the complete omission of anything explicitly sexual, but has that extended animated absurd sequence to convey what's going on there instead. So yeah, I think you may be right in that. Well, it hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, now you've got me. Gosh, was that called The Phone Book? What was it called?
Oh yeah, I think that was. I can remember the various posters and titles.
Uh, it was about a obscene phone caller. Gosh, what was that called? Now you've got me. Oh, I should not forget my own canonically weird movies.
See if I can quickly.
It's gonna drive me.
It's been years, Greg. It's been years.
Telephone Book was the
Telephone. Okay.
Now, okay, that one, the explicit parts in that were animated, and they were done Salvador Dali style.
Yeah, I did not find them. I guess I found them erotic without. Yeah.
So to me, I love those sequences. So that
Oh yeah.
was
Oh yeah. No, I was just thinking of a weird movie that had the shall we say possibility of having that, and they opted not to in favor of Dali-esque eroticism.
So that one is almost like a borderline case that I agree with. But I'm thinking of things like Antichrist had a explicit sex scene in it, and it was just very distracting because the heads were cut off. It was very obvious they were using body doubles.
Oh, okay.
So it didn't really make any sense to put it in there. Now, there were scenes of genital mutilation also in Antichrist that's not quite explicit sex, but very explicit. But those scenes worked pretty well in terms of making you cringe like hell.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So explicit sexual content in a weird movie that actually works for the movie, in other words, and isn't just there for titillation?
Yeah, I guess are we throwing down a challenge to our readers to flood the queue?
Well, I can think of like Andy Warhol's Bad, for instance. There's a couple scenes where these people just are laying around in the bedroom with nothing else to do, so they just screw. And it is the most, oh boy, I don't know what kind of language I can get away with here. There's an old term that was going around in the 60s called the zipless fuck. And that is the most perfect cinematic representation of that phrase. These people are just listless. So it does something. It says something about their character. These are all just welfare hippies hanging out in the 70s with nothing to do, and they're literally having sex, not because they're horny, but just because they ran out of drugs and they're bored. You know, it kind of has that. So there's that. There's other scenes I can think of. I think, but I'd have to list them out. That is one example of a sex scene that actually does at least characterize the characters a little bit.
Yes, but could it have been done in a simulated fashion instead of explicit?
It might have been simulated. I mean, they don't really go close up and show penetration and shit. They're just under covers. But
well, that's what I'm talking about, close up penetration.
Oh, well.
I got
the animations in the wall. Big ones on the wall. Those are kind of psychedelic.
Back to animation, though.
Yeah. No. Nope.
There may be
we'll leave it to the readers to comment.
There may be some people who defend like the fellatio scene in Pink Flamingos. But not me. Anyway, maybe I'm sure actually a lot of readers are fond of those kind of scenes and get very, very, very angry when they're censored. But not me. But that's it. So that was a long digression on bad luck banging, or loony porn, but that finishes us up for the week. So thank you guys for coming back for an extra long session to discuss all these 9 movies that we had to discuss. And so now that we're at the end of the broadcast, I'm going to announce that we are scheduled to have some guests next week. And they are the guys from Deaf Crocodile, who I've been trying to get for a long time. Craig Rodgers and Dennis Bartok have agreed, fingers crossed, to come on and discuss some of their movies with us next week. And we'll have L. Rob Hubbard on to help us with that. But we'll also cover all the new releases of the week that aren't from Deaf Crocodile. But in the meantime, Giles, what should people do?
Well, people should like and subscribe whatever content we've put our name to, watch the YouTube videos, listen to the YouTube videos, leave comments, buy our book. Our volumes are still for sale, handsome hardcover and practical softbound as well. Tell your friends, neighbors, loved ones, enemies, and any passersby who look likely to check out 366 Weird Movies, and otherwise enjoy our, well, coverage as comprehensive as about a dozen people scattered around the globe can do.
All right. Any final words, Pete?
Meow. It's a word.
Yeah.
And we had a cat themed serial killer this time, so it's topical.
All right. All right. Well, thank you for tuning in and listening. Join us next week when we will talk with the folks from Deaf Taco Bell.
Deaf Taco Bell. Yes.
Deaf Crocodile.
Deaf Crocodile, about their amazing catalog of films. And we'll see you then. And bye-bye for now.
Weird. Yeah, I guess that is the word for it. Weird.